If you're a fan of getting lost in huge maps, discovering secret paths, and pulling off slick combat moves, then you already know the magic of a good Metroidvania. But hey, not every gem gets the spotlight it deserves. Some games fly under the radar, quietly delivering incredible experiences that rival the big names. So, instead of replaying the same old titles everyone talks about, why not dive into some underrated masterpieces that deserve way more love? Here's a hard-boiled list of 15 must-play, underrated Metroidvania games in 2025 that'll absolutely scratch that exploration itch.
The dead are constantly reminded of their time away from this life, hiding in the shadows of the moon. Yet I will not be their prey any longer, but their hunter.
The Last Faith. Alright, The Last Faith dropped back in November 2023 on pretty much everything from PC to PS5, Xbox Series XS, Switch, you name it. You jump in as Eric, or Eric. Feels mysterious, right? Waking up in this decaying gothic world with zero memory and a not-so-fun plague to deal with. It's like someone took Bloodborne, Castlevania and classic Metroid, mashed them into a pixelated stew and cooked up a stylish Soulsvania feast. Combat's a mix of melee, dark spells and even guns, plus you get these badass custom execution animations that never get old. Map design's solid, exploration's rewarding, and the whole vibe, gorgeously moody, retro gothic artistry that pulls you right into the dark fantasy. But hey, it's not flawless. Some folks noted uneven pacing, annoying performance hiccups on some platforms, looking at you, Switch, and that it leans a bit too heavy on familiar genre tropes. All in all, The Last Faith is a grim, stylish ride. If you dig atmospheric Metroidvanias with a Souls-like punch, this one's definitely worth unlocking.
There will be no more confusion, no more doubts. I'll take this burden upon myself. I'll search until I find the one.
The Last Case of Benedict Fox, Definitive Edition. So, you're Benedict Fox, a grizzled detective tangled up with a demon companion, diving headfirst into a warped gothic mindscape to unravel a twisted mystery. The whole aesthetic is like a trippy mashup of Burton meets Lovecraft, dark, moody, colourful, but always beautiful and totally immersive. What really pulls you in? The puzzles and the lore. You're exploring limbo-like memories, bursting with environmental riddles, secret symbolism, and honestly, everything feels crafted to make you feel like a bona fide sleuth. And even though combat and platforming can feel clunky or frustrating at times, you get lost in the gorgeous art and the haunting story so hard that it doesn't even matter. It's the kind of game where you'll stay up till 3 AM chasing clues, battling inner demons, sometimes literally, and piecing together a narrative that's both chilling and strangely emotional. The flaws are real, but the atmosphere, the mystery, and the sheer weirdness of it all make it endlessly compelling. Fans of puzzles, noir, and creepy art, that weird, irresistible mix, this one's dipped in it. Ghost Song. Imagine waking up inside a cold, armoured deadsuit, stranded on a foreboding moon that's beautiful, eerie, and full of secrets. You're surrounded by glowing plants and hand-drawn caverns that feel alive, like something plucked straight from a gothic sci-fi dream. The music isn't just background, it's a melancholic whisper echoing through every corridor, making every step feel both lonely and significant. Combat's a wild tango, Fire your weapon until it overheats, then watch your melee attacks pack a bigger punch. It adds this cool rhythm to fights. Switching between ranged cooldowns and up-close brawls feels tense and rewarding. And that modular suit upgrade system? Swapping in new weapons and abilities, double jump, dash, auto turrets, means you're always tinkering with your playstyle. Exploration is hauntingly addictive. Every hidden passage or module found feels like a whispered secret of the moon. The narrative is subtle, filled with cryptic encounters and survivors who drip personality and warmth into this cold, alien world. But it's not perfect. Movement can feel sluggish at times, and backtracking, without enough fast travel, can become a drag. Still, this game pulls you in with its atmosphere, its sound, its emotional weight. It's like wandering through a haunted painting, creepy, melancholy, and utterly magnetic. F.I.S.T, forged in Shadow Torch. In this, you're this hardened rabbit named Rayton, hiding out until your friend gets snatched, so you dust off a massive mechanical fist and leap back into action. Your toolkit expands as you go. Think switching between fist, drill, and whip. Each unlocking new routes and combos, gliding with the drill, slingshotting with the whip. Smart level design makes every upgrade feel juicy. Combat's punchy and weighty, not for button mashers. Timing and tactics matter. Critics gave it strong praise, typically around 80 out of 100 Metacritic, lauding visuals, combat depth, and world design. That said, it's not perfect. Switch players reported long loading times and performance hiccups. And some users said the map is overly maze-like and backtracking gets tedious. In short, if you're into gritty, beefy Metroidvania action with style and can handle some rough edges, F.I.S.T delivers a uniquely immersive ride. Tales of Kenzera. You step into this lush, Afro-futuristic world as Zao, a young shaman shattered by his father's death, but also fiercely determined. The emotional punch hits first. Grief isn't some abstract theme. It's stitched into Zao's journey from the moment he opens his dad's storybook, and you feel that ache deep. Then there's Kalunga, the god of death. Not a grim reaper, but this wise, sometimes gentle guide who'll tell Zao it's okay to not be okay, and you'll believe him. The visuals? Straight up gorgeous. Every biome, from sweeping plains to haunting caverns, is bursting with colour and life, all backed by a stirring soundtrack that's sometimes serene, sometimes full-on goosebump-inducing. Gameplay blends smooth platforming with the fire and ice mask combat. Switch melee and ranged masks mid-fight to keep things fluid. It's solid, even though some later fights or chase sections can test your patience. But when narrative, art and sound come together, oh man, you're rooting for Zao's healing and every bittersweet memory he carries. It's not just a Metroidvania, it's a heartfelt meditation on loss that'll stick with you long after the credits roll.
Truly perfect things. My poor friend, you were one of them. Here I feel as lonely as only a god can be.
Moonscars. Let's talk about Moonscars, a 2D Souls-like that's as punishing as it is beautiful. You play as Grey Irma, a clay-born warrior on a relentless quest to find her creator, the sculptor. The world is dark, grim, and drenched in atmosphere, with pixel art that's both haunting and gorgeous. Combat is fast, fluid, and satisfying, with smooth swordplay, dodges, and parries. But it's not all smooth sailing. The difficulty is brutal, especially when you activate the moon hunger mechanic, which makes enemies stronger but rewards you with more bone powder. It's a risk-reward system that keeps you on your toes, but can be frustrating if you're not careful. The game also features witchery abilities, powerful spells that require bone powder to use. They're handy, but come at a cost, and managing your resources adds another layer of strategy to the mix. The world design is classic Metroidvania, with interconnected areas and plenty of secrets to uncover. But be warned, the game doesn't hold your hand. You'll need to pay attention, learn from your mistakes, and adapt if you want to survive. Moonscars is a game that demands patience and skill, but if you're up for the challenge, it offers a deeply rewarding experience. Grime. Grime is a surreal Metroidvania that plunges you into a world of grotesque beauty and challenging combat. You play as a living black hole, absorbing enemies and using their essence to grow stronger. The combat is fast-paced and unforgiving, requiring precise timing and strategy. The world is dark and atmospheric, filled with bizarre creatures and intricate platforming sections. The art style is unique, blending organic and mechanical elements to create a truly alien environment. The soundtrack complements the visuals perfectly, with haunting melodies that enhance the game's eerie atmosphere. While the game can be punishing at times, the sense of progression and satisfaction from overcoming challenges keeps you coming back for more. Grime offers a fresh take on the Metroidvania genre, with its innovative mechanics and captivating world design. Afterimage. Alright, imagine diving into a hand-drawn 2D world where every frame looks like a piece of art, completely lush and vibrant, with parallax layers that make you feel depth. So good, you might want to hang screenshots on your wall. The combat is solid and slick, with a surprisingly deep RPG vibe. Think weapons with unique movesets, magic, talent trees, and character builds that actually feel meaningful. Sure, there's a fair bit of backtracking, like walking across multiple biomes just to get to a save point. So patience helps, though fast travel is eventually unlockable. The story? Kind of vague and cryptic, but that only adds to the mysterious charm if you're into lore that makes you think. A few design choices can be frustrating, like the map not auto-revealing, XP dropping on death, and visual clutter that sometimes hides enemies or your character. But hey, it's a heartfelt Metroidvania that sticks with you. Pretty, punchy, and full of surprises, just maybe not next-level innovative, but still totally worth the ride. Pseudoregalia. Have you ever woken up in a dream so vivid you don't want to leave? That's basically Pseudoregalia, a bite-sized 3D Metroidvania where you play as Sybil, this goat-bunny-cat hybrid, exploring the surreal Castle Sansa, unlocking slick moves and unraveling dream world mysteries. Everything here oozes movement fluidity, wall kicks, slide jumps, backflips, even wall runs that remind you of Mario 64 or Odyssey in the best way possible. Despite being short and affordable, it's packed with replayability, branching paths, visual style straight from late 90s consoles, and more than enough charm to sink into. Critics and players raved, Metacritic user scores landed around generally favourable, and outlets like Metacritic and Rock Paper Shotgun called its movement super slick and fantastic in motion. The only hiccup? No map at launch, which did trip some people up in the maze-like castle, but a map was added later via an update. Bottom line, if you're craving dreamlike exploration with buttery smooth traversal in a retro stylish package. Pseudoregalia is a little indie gem that's bigger on impact than size. Islets. And if you've ever dreamed of zipping between floating islands like it's just another Tuesday, Islets is your ticket. This cozy Metroidvania has you playing as Eco, a hopeful little mouse pilot, hopping from island to island in a hand-painted sky world to reignite magnetic cores and reunite the world bit by bit. Everything about it is charming, from its Studio Ghibli-inspired visuals to the warm, quirky cast of characters who drop letters and advice as you explore. The platforming is tight and satisfying, and the way you reconnect the islands feels like solving a living, breathing puzzle. OpenCritic rated it strong, with an average around 79%, and critics praised nostalgic charm and smart map design. It's a relatively breezy adventure. Most runs clock in around 8 to 12 hours, so it's perfect if you're after something relaxed, delightful, and a little story-rich. Sure, the combat's simple and there's some floaty movement, but if you lean into its cozy vibe, Islets turns into an unforgettable indie hug in game form. Trash Quest. So you're a wild raccoon in space, naturally a trash-loving one, and you've broken out of cryo on a spaceship that looks more like a labyrinthine trash compactor than a home. What makes this little Metroidvania punch above its weight? It's super compact and tight. Xbox Tavern praised how the movement mechanics feel precise, and traversal abilities are just right for the space station's maze-like layout. You've got double jump, hover, dash, all tied to a stamina system that lets you creatively stack moves and get through tricky platforming with style. The design leans minimalist but clever. No checkpoints, no tomes of narrative, just you, a map, hit Y, and a central respawn hub in a trash heap. Each death brings you back, but shortcuts and map cues help you bounce back fast. It's short, but that really plays to its advantage. It's bite-sized perfection, tight, challenging, and packed with retro flair. Bottom line, fast-paced precision platforming, compact design, and old-school chiptune vibes make Trash Quest a tiny Metroidvania gem, perfect for quick yet satisfying runs. Xeodrifter. Let's crash land into 4 alien planets on a short but sweet Metroidvania expedition. Welcome to Xeodrifter. It's got that retro charm dialed up. Think colourful 8-bit pixel art, chiptune tracks that hit the nostalgia hard, and a minimalist sci-fi vibe reminiscent of classic Metroid. You play as an interstellar drifter trying to repair your ship's warp core after an asteroid strike. Your tools? Exploring, blasting foes, gathering upgrades, and hopping between 4 distinct planets. Critics loved how refined and focused the experience is. Nintendo World Report praised its addictive exploration, while OpenCritic scores point to smart design, unique upgrades, and satisfying gameplay. It's compact, blitzable in around 3-4 hours, but packed with smooth mechanics and enough charm to leave a mark. That said, it isn't without flaws. The single repeating boss and lack of deep narrative leave it feeling a bit thin for genre veterans. Bottom line, if you want a polished, bite-sized Metroidvania that hits hard in its brevity, Xeodrifter is an awesome weekend crunch play. Just don't expect a sprawling epic. What it lacks in length, it makes up in retro-styled soul. the Robot. Haiku the Robot is a captivating 2D Metroidvania developed and published by Mr. Morris Games. You control Haiku, a scrappy robot navigating the decaying world of Arcadia, battling corrupted machines with tight swordplay, dashing and platforming mechanics. One cool feature is the scrap metal system. Defeating enemies' nets, you scrap that you can spend instantly to heal or save up for power-ups at shops. Just a heads up though, if you die, you lose half of your scrap unless you've invested in vault storage. On top of that, you can slot in chips to tweak your gameplay, boost your health, sword power and more. Critics have been positive overall. Metacritic pegged the game as generally favourable for the Switch version. Reviews rave about the tight controls, exploration and charming visuals, with several outlets drawing affectionate comparisons to Hollow Knight. That said, some found the world a bit aimless and mentioned the combat could feel repetitive. Bottom line, if you're in the mood for a compact, polished Metroidvania with retro pixel art, smooth movement and a charming robot hero, Haiku the Robot is a delightful pick, light on complexity but rich in craftsmanship. Depths of Sanity. Do you dare descend into an underwater nightmare filled with Lovecraftian dread and monstrous bosses waiting beneath the waves? Depths of Sanity throws you into the abyss as Commander Abe Douglas, investigating the disappearance of the submarine Baroness and pushing your own sanity to the limit in the process. Gameplay delivers full 360 degrees movement with no double jumps or wall runs. You navigate the crushing depths using tools like sonar and tow lines to cross treacherous currents and explore submerged coral reefs, magma caverns, and wreck-littered shipyards. Within this chilling playground, you scavenge weapons, decipher cryptic messages, and unravel a mystery that unfurls much like a descent into madness. Critics and players have praised the game's atmosphere, storytelling, and unique underwater mechanics. OpenCritic acknowledges its inventive approach to Metroidvania structure. Steam reviews mirror that sentiment, with about 95% of players rating it positively. It's not an easy ride though. Some find the controls a bit cumbersome, and the deliberate pacing makes everything feel heavy and slow. But if you're craving a deep dive into psychological horror wrapped in Metroidvania gameplay, Depths of Sanity may just be your perfect dark plunge. Midnight Castle Succubus DX. Okay, so Midnight Castle Succubus DX is a wildly retro-styled, adult-only Metroidvania that crashed onto Windows on September 18th, 2020. So, yeah, it's PC-only territory here. You're a whip-wielding succubus hunter dropping into a cursed castle under the moonlight, aiming to rescue 16 abducted women and take down the big bad succubus herself. It's serious throwback vibes, packing everything from leather, thorn, chain, flame, ice, to magic whips, each one more powerful than the last and suited for specific situations. Then there are sub-weapons like scythes, boomerangs, bombs, a time-stopping clock, and even a homing cross. Mix in adult-only pixel animations, H-scenes, and 4 difficulty levels, including instant death, and you've got a no-holds-barred ride. Visually, it leans hard into pixel art nostalgia, reuniting Castlevania sensibilities with anime-style adult content. Players loved it. Steam ratings are very positive, with about 93 to 94% positive across reviews. Just be aware there's a fair bit of backtracking, and the level design can feel unforgiving without fast travel or clear navigation. So plan on saving often or using a guide. Bottom line, if a throwback-style Metroidvania with adult themes, whip combos, and heavy pixel allure sounds like your jam, Midnight Castle Succubus DX delivers a bold, niche experience. Just know it's as edgy as it is nostalgic. And that's a wrap on your crash course through 15 absolute underdog Metroidvanias that deserve spotlight status in 2025. From shrine-deep, atmospheric adventures like Depths of Sanity to heartwarming pixel journey, these games prove that creativity thrives in the shadows. Was even dubbed a must-play by Merry Station. So don't just stick to the usual suspects. Dive into one of these underrated gems and you'll find a story, a mechanic, or a world that might just shake your Metroidvania-loving core.